Alright, hopefully this will be the shortest video you've ever seen, because that's kind of what I'm aiming for. I don't want this to be some long drawn out video about all of my piercings. I'll start off in order of how I got them. I'll talk about pain, healing, and the jewelry I have in now. Like this gauge. So I have my ears pierced when I was an infant, and I'm making a whole video on the stretching process because they are stretched if you didn't notice. My left ear is at 8 millimeters. My right ear is at 11 millimeters, and 12 millimeters is my goal size. My first like actual piercing was my web piercing. I got that pierced maybe about 3 years ago. It is a 16 gauge piercing. I did have stainless steel in there, but I switched it to acrylic a really long time ago because I thought I needed an x-ray at my dentist, and then I didn't, and I just haven't changed it. So that was my first like actual piercing besides my lobes. It was kind of a pain to get it pierced because it's such a small area and there are fingers in your mouth and your jaw starts to cramp up from being open for so long, but it is my favorite piercing nonetheless. I just think they look really good on everyone. Then I got my nose pierced. It's my second piercing. I had a lot of issues with this piercing because the woman who pierced it, she's a professional. She charged me $70 for it. She's at a legit piercing shop in Ottawa. She did it wrong. She didn't use a receiving tube. She didn't use a taper. Or not a taper, a clamp. She didn't use a clamp. She didn't use anything. She just rammed a needle through my face and then charged me $70 for it. So I'm kind of peeved about that. It took a year to fully heal. Actually getting it pierced really hurt. She was a dick and just jammed the needle through my face. After my nose, I got my 2 cartilage piercings on my left ear. I got my tragus and my helix. They both hurt. I'm not gonna lie, they hurt. My tragus was like a really warm pressure and it kind of hurt. And there was a pinch. And my helix was like an ice cold burning kind of pinch. They're both pierced at a 16 gauge and I have 8 millimeter length labret posts in them. My tragus took maybe 4 months to heal to the point where I could change it. I got the go ahead at least for my piercer at the 4-month mark, and my helix took probably 8 months to fully heal where I could change it. And it definitely took a lot longer because it is so far away and it is on such a flappy piece of skin. It took a lot longer to heal because it was getting bumped around all the time. I got tangled up in my hair all the time. It was just a really difficult piercing to heal, but I do love it and I do plan on getting another one underneath it. Then I got my upper and lower navel pierced. I will show you. They were pierced at the same time. They were both pierced at 14 gauge. That's the size of the jewelry that's in them. That's the size of the needle that pierced me. They did hurt more than my cartilage piercings, I will admit that. But it was a lot of pressure and it was a lot of throbbing and a really quick pinch. It wasn't like a burn or like heat. It was just pressure, throbbing, and a pinch. That being said, I probably wouldn't get them pierced again. I definitely wouldn't pierce over the scar tissue. So, I do really love them though. My top navel only took maybe 5 months to heal to the point where I could change it, and my lower navel, I don't know, I feel like it took about a year to heal. After that, I'm pretty sure I pierced my second holes. They were a breeze, they didn't hurt, they healed up pretty well, they healed up pretty quick. And my most recent piercings I got done about a year ago. I have my septum, which I just have a retainer in right now because I had it out all day because I don't know, there's a lot of dust and cat hair floating around my apartment. It's annoying, it's irritating my nose. So I just have a retainer in there, but it is pierced at 14 gauge. It was a really, really sharp pinch. It felt sore for about a week and then the soreness kind of went away. Tender for about a month afterwards, but I was able to change it after about 3 months of having it done, which some people might say is pretty soon, but I did get it pierced through my sweet spot, not any of the cartilage or any of that scary stuff up in there. So I feel like that really helped the healing process. And now my nose is really itchy. So on to my last piercing, which I got at the same time as my septum. My conch has been by far my most difficult piercing. I feel like the entire issue is that she pierced it with a 14 gauge needle and then put 16 gauge jewelry in that hole. So it's not like it was a smaller hole and then the jewelry just sit perfectly in that hole. That looked really perverted, and I'm sorry. I know like cartilage piercings are like already kind of a finicky piercing to deal with. Every other piercing I have, I don't regret going through the troubles I went through with them. My conch is the only piercing that if I knew how bad it would have been, I wouldn't have gotten it done. It just felt like something punched my ear and then it started bleeding, and it didn't stop bleeding for probably 4 or 5 days. I'm sure you can just talk to your piercer and say, hey, can you like put the same gauge jewelry as you do needle? And they'll probably say yes. But my piercer didn't want to listen to me. So those are all of my piercings, a really quick overview on all of my piercings. I am, again, like I said, making a video entirely based on my ear stretching journey, I guess. And I will be doing updates, and I'll probably film as I stretch them up to 12 millimeters. If you have any really specific questions about these piercings, let me know and I will answer them. I just really wanted this video to be super quick and to the point and more like a collection and not like an in-depth like thing. Really quickly, I do have a tattoo on my arm that says breathe.
I always joke around that like it's my first tattoo, it's supposed to be stupid, but then everyone gets really offended and they're like, no, you're giving tattoo people a bad name. But I don't know.
I like it. I like this tattoo. I will see you in my next video.